We've talked about some of the treatments that are being used and tested, like hydrochloroquine or remdesivir, even things like vitamin C infusions right now. But Cellularity is the first company in cellular therapeutics to receive a clearance like this to test treatment. Tell us what it is and how it's different than some of these other drugs we're seeing going through trials.
Sure. So Cellularity is a company that for the last 2 decades has pioneered the use of living cells derived from the placenta as medicines. And one of the unique properties of these cells is their immunologic function. The placenta is a defense system for the developing fetus and protects it from a number of threats like cancer, infectious diseases. Our scientists recognized this some time ago, and we built a program to harness the power of those immune cells as a therapeutic. And we've taken that product into the treatment of certain blood cancers, and we are soon entering into treating solid tumors. But along the way, we recognized that the same fundamental activity against cancer also happens against virally infected cells. So during the COVID crisis, our research team recognized that our lead product, CYNK-001, had activity against virally infected cells. And because it can be administered relatively easily through an intravenous infusion, it could be another tool brought in to, in essence, stop the conversion of infected patients to seriously ill pulmonary and respiratory compromised patients.
Maybe because I'm 5.5 months pregnant, I find this particularly fascinating right now. Where is this trial going to be conducted? Who's going to have access to it, and what's going to constitute success?
So our trial is going to be conducted in several academic medical centers, world-renowned reputations in clinical investigation. We will treat 50 to 100 patients. The initial study will confirm the safety of the product, its ability to be used without subjecting the patients to any risks or any significant risks. And then we intend to advance this into looking specifically at whether we can stop the conversion from infected and mild symptoms to infected and serious complications, such as acute respiratory distress syndrome, which is the killer here. The killer in this disease are patients who progress to needing to be on a ventilator, and then they go into cardiopulmonary compromise. So we believe that this is an immunotherapeutic that is unlike others that are in the clinic. Immunotherapy is revolutionizing the way we treat cancer, and we think it's a powerful tool for the fight against this viral pandemic.
Doctor, it's certainly promising to hear. Immunotherapy saved a high school friend of mine who was suffering from cancer, and she's still doing well. I wonder, for just a little bit more detail into what you're doing, is this in effect kind of halting the out-of-control multiplication of activity within a cell? And if so, if that is what's happening, might this prove to be effective against all kinds of viruses into the future based on the work that you're going to be doing now?
So you're right on target. First and foremost, just like Tony Fauci has expressed the need to flatten the curve, the epidemiologic curve, so that we don't exceed the capacity of the healthcare system, our immunotherapeutic literally allows us to control the amount of viral burden these patients have. And we believe that will keep them from the clinical threshold where they progress to that serious pulmonary complication, ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome. So just like in cancer, immunotherapy is a way of augmenting and boosting your own immune system's ability to respond to a threat. These cells are one size fits all. They're cryopreservable, which means they have a long shelf life, and they can be administered in many clinical settings, including an emergency room, an infusion clinic, et cetera.
So 2 questions for you, Doctor. The first is known side effects, and the second is if this moves forward, it receives broader clearance, where would you manufacture? How quickly could you manufacture?
So First of all, the product can be administered, like I said, by a simple infusion, and we expect to be able to work within the existing treatment regimens for these patients. We are designed to scale the production of this product. You see behind me one of our GMP manufacturing suites. We produce everything to the highest standards prescribed by the Food and Drug Administration. And we are capable, because the raw material for this are postpartum placentas, we're capable of scaling up and mass producing this to meet what we anticipate the needs of the seriously ill with this disease.